The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, and the Celestine Prophecy, the Workbook by James Redfield and Carol Adrian.
Hello and welcome to Elaine Online.
The definition of a parable by writingexplained.org is that a parable is defined as a short, realistic story that's written for the purpose of teaching a moral or religious lesson. And the Celestine Prophecy is written as a parable about a narrator who is at a crossroads in his life. And suddenly, a friend who he hasn't spoken to in quite some time suddenly calls and arranges to have a dinner with him. And she tells him about an interesting manuscript that has been found in Peru. He decides to travel to Peru, where the church and state are trying to keep the information away from the general public. Very few people have actually seen the 9 insights. Most of them have only seen 1, maybe 2 at the most. And there are some people who have disappeared, and we are left to assume whether that was the government. Our narrator discovers rather quickly that being in a different country also means different rules. And as he is being chased along with someone else by soldiers, the other man is killed right in front of him. It's a good lesson to learn quickly on, as there are far more things that happen as he tries to discover and learn about the different insights and how to put them into practice in your everyday life. Each chapter in the book relates to one of the different insights and how to put that into effect in your own life. The narrator meets people, and each of them stress the importance of not just reading about the insight, but actually putting it into practice and making use of it. There's a chapter that relates to communication with children and not speaking down to them. And it's an excellent chapter, whether you're a parent, whether you work with children, to help understand effective communication. It also clarifies some of the challenges of trying to communicate with other adults and the difficulties and problems that ego can have when we are trying to have an honest communication with someone. It's a book that I found to be thought-provoking and life-changing for myself personally. As months after I first read the book, I had changed careers from social services to education, which was never my long-term plan. However, due to changes in funding, and at that time, ironically, also a conservative government, the career that I thought I would be in for the rest of my life suddenly no longer existed here in Ontario. So thankfully, for me, the timing meant that months before my career ended, I was already in another job and starting a new direction in my life. Definitely a guardian angel and some synchronicity that was happening at that time. Having just reread the Celestine Prophecy in 2022, I don't think it's ironic that yet again we have a conservative government that has had an impact by some choices on my life and my career. So this year I'm heading off in yet again a new direction and hoping that once again synchronicity and the universe put everything in place where it's meant to be, when it's meant to be there. It's also a good reminder about perspective and how our personal energy impacts our day-to-day life and our long-term events and where we're headed and how we get there. In other words, is the road a little bit easier or is it more challenging? It's also a good reminder to take a look at the people in your social group and who you're choosing to interact with. Are they the people who are supportive and encouraging? Do you find that you've got some needy Nellies around, perhaps some energy vampires? And here's the important thing to remember. Every single person has a down or a low day, and that is far different from, say, a needy Nelly or an energy vampire. A needy Nelly is someone who is always, no matter what the circumstance, no matter how things improve, still talking about me, and things won't work out. The energy vampires are much like the needy Nelly, but they are more drawing. Well, they're both exhausting, let's be serious. But the energy vampire is intentionally, usually, some are unconscious about it, but not very many, at least in my experience. And they're going on and going on. And after you've left them, you are just exhausted from being drained and constantly trying to pump them up and encourage them. And they're just not interested in any of it. So the book is a good reminder about how to cope with that type of negativity, how to protect yourself and keep your own energy levels high, which is important for you to reach your goals and to move forward and feel good about yourself. The Celestine workbook gives a summary in each chapter and also exercises to complete. So it's great if you go through, do some highlighting, make some notes. And it's nice because the exercises at the end of each chapter can either be done on your own, and that's great for people who either don't have somebody close by that you can connect with and work through it with, or you can do it as a group if you have a few people who'd like to get together, say, once a month and chat about each insight and work through it and how it's connecting in your life. I've done the activities both ways. I used to run a group where we met and worked through the 9 insights, and I've also worked through it by myself. Each method has its own benefit, and it comes down to what are you the most comfortable in doing. If you do it by yourself, then there's no pressure for timelines or having to make arrangements to be somewhere. And I would recommend getting a journal, a notebook, even loose paper, and just jotting some notes for yourself personally as you're going through it and start to notice things in your life. If you're doing it together as a group, then once a month is usually what people can manage time-wise because people are busy and things come up. But if you connect once a month, and you could even do it on something like Zoom or another format where you can all get together and chat. And the group format is handy because, of course, everyone brings their own life experience and their own ideas to the table. And it's good to have different people to talk to get different perspectives and share that information. It is, after all, how we learn and grow. So it's of benefit if you can do it as a group. But again, either method will give you some benefit, either by yourself or in a group. So I hope that you give it a try, and it's certainly of interest and gives you some things to think about. If you enjoy reading parables or you're curious about the Celestine prophecy, then first I would recommend check out your local library and see if they have a copy. It's a great way to give a book a test run and see if it's something that's actually of interest for you. I know myself, as I've been following a growing number of booktubers, and they suggest a variety of different authors who I'm not familiar with, the first thing I do is to go to my public library's website and see if they have a copy. Again, because it's a great way to give a new author a test run and a new genre a tryout. If you've enjoyed this video, then please be sure to hit the like button If you're interested in learning more about the Celestine prophecy, or just curious about what some of the insights might be, then you can visit the Celestine website, and I'll leave a link for that in the description box below. There's also a movie that's available on Prime, and it's called The Celestine Prophecy. And it's a great way, again, to just give it a test run and see if it's something that you're interested in. If you enjoy content about books and a variety of different subjects, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload new content. Until next time, happy reading!